everyone, and welcome to my review of National Treasure: The Edge of History Season 1. Yes, now, the intro to the show is very good. You know, it does get you in the mood to go treasure hunting, so good job. The actors, again, yes, I'm using the old notes. The actors, Lisette Olivier as Jess Valenzuela, or Valenzuela, again, I'm probably going to butcher a lot of these names, so stick with me. So, Lisette Olivia as Jess Valenzuela, good actress. I liked her. I liked the majority of her character. She had good development throughout the series. You know, she's a good wee actress, and I definitely do think there will be a lot more in her future. Sura Reid as Tasha Rivers is also a good actress and did a good job throughout the series. Antonio Capriano, one of those things, as Owen Bradley, again, did a good job with his dumb but big-hearted character, you know. Jake Austin Walker as Liam Sadusky was forgettable. Honestly, I think he tried his best, but he just wasn't very good. I mean, like, he was passable, but as I said, forgettable. So I think he should have been recast with a better actor. Jordan Rodriguez as Ethan Chow is, again, forgettable, but this comes down to the writing, and the real thing about his character is that it didn't need to be there, but I'll get into that later when I'm talking about the writing. Catherine Zeta-Jones as Billy Pierce. Now, I've been a fan of Catherine Zeta-Jones since the original Darling Buds of May, not the absolutely crappy remake that has came out recently. So I've been a fan of hers for a long time. But I have to say I was a little disappointed with her actual performance in this series. Now, I don't know if she's just here for the paycheck, or a combination of Botox or something like that, but her acting throughout the episodes was inconsistent. You know, sometimes it was hard to tell what emotion she was actually emoting. You know, and again, this could be down to her just not wanting to be there, or just couldn't care less about it, or again, Botox. I mean, if you saw Sandra Bullock lately, yeah, hard. Let's just say I expected more from her. Breda Wool as Casey Hostler does a good job with what she has to work with. Lyndon Smith as Agent Ross does a good job, and I liked her character, you know. So, and the supporting cast does a good job. So, outside of two guys, the majority of this show had good ability. There's also characters from the movies. We get Harvey Keitel, who's back as Agent Sadusky for an episode. Jesus. Sorry about that. We have, yeah, well, I've said that. Justin Bartha is back as Riley Pooh. Not Riley Pooh, Riley Poole. Yes. For an episode, and Armando Risco is back in the character of Agent Hendricks. Yes. So, the main plot. I'm going to get into light spoilers here, so you might want to skip to later in the video. The main plot is 70% good, but there's 4 parts that are bad. With the character of Jess, after spending almost her entire life in America, going to high school, going to college, and working in America, at no point did she ever try to become a citizen. Yes, it's this part of her character, and it comes in later in the episodes to the storyline that just didn't need to be here. You know, you know, let's be honest here, it was put in for ideological reasons. I mean, it's something that if you took this out of the plot, you would have the exact same, you know, storyline. It didn't need to be there. It was only there for one reason, and you know, like anything, if you can take it a plot, well, be a plot line, a character, etc. If you can take it out of your TV show or movie, and you still have the exact same TV show movie, then that didn't need to be there in the first place. So her character being an immigrant served absolutely no purpose. Number two, the bad cabal destroys treasure. I can understand destroying documents or something that might rewrite history. That would make sense for bad guys. But they destroy everything, including the billions of dollars worth of gold. That didn't make a lot of sense. I mean, destroy the items, but destroying it all? Where would they get the money from to do this if they just go around destroying billions and billions of dollars worth of treasure? So I didn't understand that part. As I said earlier, the character of Ethan Chow could be removed completely. I mean, if you go through episode by episode, take him out, give the few lines he has to a different character, and you didn't have to have the dance. People who watched it will know what I mean. That didn't need to happen. When he goes to, you know, in the last episode, you know, you could have the character of Liam by himself do that bit. You know, so you could take his character completely out of this series and have the exact same series. All you'd have to do is give his the lines he has to other people, and it would have made a better show. Pointless love stories. Now there's a number of love stories in this. Now the main love story between Jess and Liam I have no problem with. The secondary love story on and off relationship between Owen and Tasha I have no problem with. But then we go further, because there's one with Chow having unrequited love for Jess or something, and he's dating someone else, and that's a whole thing. Then there's Agent Ross and the coroner are having a romance as well. So with that's two romances that didn't need to be in the show. Again, you could take both of these romances out of the show and have the exact same show. You know, at points, because there was these two needless romance things, at times you went from watching a treasure hunter show to a teen drama, and it did pull you out of the actual episode you were watching, because you'd have this maybe a clue, maybe some good investigation, and then teen drama with a pointless love story, and it did hurt the show. So yeah, most of the sets were good, but you could tell, especially Sadusky's secret office, that was very good. You know, but later in the episodes you can tell there was a very tight budget for what they could and couldn't do. But for what they had, it was good. The music is hit and miss depending on the episode. There was, like, overall it was good, but there was a couple of songs you're like, why is that here? The puzzles were good. I liked the way you had, you know, Jess had to go through different steps to find different things. You know, it added up to a good puzzle. Except the last one. The very last puzzle to get into the big secret place, that was pretty simple. I mean, honestly, and again, you might want to skip this little part, but you could have defeated it with a long plank. I'm just saying. I would have liked episode 10 to have a lot more suspense and traps, or more traps to make it suspenseful. You know, it should have been more than what it was. So, Further on the writing, uh, between the pointless romances, uh, there was also a lot of scenes that really felt like fluff. Which way can I put this? Basically, if you took the fluff out, you'll know, if you've watched it, you'll know the scenes I mean. There's the dance thing, there's the pointless love story thing. If you took all the fluff out, you would have a solid, like the show is 10 episodes of 45 minutes each. But if you took all the fluff out, you would have 10 episodes of about, I'd say, 30 minutes each. And it would have made for a more better paced show. You know, you took the fluff out, all these romances and all the scenes that didn't need to be there, it would have you going like this, so you're like, okay, what's going to happen next? Instead, you're enjoying this treasure thing and then you slow down for pointless fluff and then you're back to the treasure thing. So, yeah, I think if they had made it to 10 30-minute episodes or 6 or 7 45 minutes episodes and just, you know, took the needless stuff out and punched it up, it would have been a better show. Yes, now this is it's not a massive problem, it doesn't break the show, but there is some ideological bollocks in it, unfortunately. It's not so bad in the later episodes, like the first, I think it's episodes really 2 and 3 where you get the most of it, but you do have, you know, a few buzzwords and stuff. As I said, it doesn't break the series, but again, it's another element that you could take completely out of the show, and you would have the exact same show. So again, didn't need to be there, and shouldn't have been there. So in the end, this show had a lot of great potential. It really did. As I said, a few of the writing choices, take one character out of Cho, recast Liam, take out the fluff, punch it up, and you know, had better writers. And this, as I said, could have been a great show. It could easily have gotten, you know, 3 to 5 seasons. But unfortunately, because, you know, you had the fluff, you had the bad writing, you had a little bit of the ideological politics, bollocks, you know, it hurt the show. And I feel bad for the actors and actresses in this because, you know, as I said, hang on. As I said, Lisette Olivier did a really good job in this. You know, I have high hopes for her in the future and seeing her in more stuff. But it was just all that, all the stuff that came with it, all the baggage this had hurt, you know, destroyed it. You know, well, not destroyed it. You know, what am I trying to say? Okay, this show had, as I said, or I think I said, I'm not rewinding to find out, but this show had great potential. There was a great, you know, there was a lot of good parts to it. And unfortunately, the potential was never reached. You know, I think, which way, what else have I written down here? Because, you know, I try to do some of this off just spontaneous, but, you know, my notes, sometimes I forget things. Yeah, so, again, great potential, and that's the sad thing here, because I love the 2 National Treasure movies. You know, I still to this day don't understand why we didn't get a third. You know, the original Tomb Raider movies with Angelina Jolie, even the remake of Tomb Raider, although the lead actress was completely miscast, was still decent. You know, and this show could have fitted in well with the shows like The Librarians or Warehouse 13, or the 90s show Relic Hunter with Tia Korea, and again I probably mispronounced that name as well. You know, it really could have been something, and it's the lost potential here that pisses me off. You know, this had so much potential to be a much better show, and yet it was wasted. You know. So, scores. From a critic's perspective, you know, judging it, you know, on the writing, directing, pacing, etc., etc., I would give it a 4 out of 10. You know, that's as high as I could go. As a nerd, someone who just switches their brain off and watches it, you know, to enjoy it, not thinking about anything, you know, that's wrong with it. From a nerd's perspective, I'm actually going to give it a 5. Yes, a higher score than the critics' perspective. Because there was a lot I enjoyed about this. As I said, you know, a lot of the actors were very good, especially, as I said, Lisette Olivia stand out. There was a lot of good episodes, minus fluff. But yeah, again, this had so much potential to be so much more. So yeah, that's my final score. Critic 4 out of 10, nerd 5 out of 10. So there you go. Again, have you seen this series? Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. And to anybody, I would say watch it. If you're into the treasure hunting thing, if you're into like, you know, puzzle solving and mystery and stuff like that, I would say give it a go. Don't get attached because, as we know, or maybe you don't, it's already been cancelled. Probably for the reasons I laid out during this video. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, give it a go. You might like it. You might say, "Why did that prick tell me to watch this?" But some of you might go, "Yeah, that wasn't a bad show." So yeah, I would say give it a go. I'm not going to recommend you watch it. I'm just saying give it a go. So yeah, that's my review of National Treasure: The Edge of History Season 1. Let me know what you thought of it, or thought of this video, or blah 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 blah. Comments, yada yada yada. So until next time, take care of yourselves.